Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Comedy and Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to review season 2 of Daredevil. Now, I'm not gonna review the whole season because I feel like I should give this season its due. Because I'm gonna go off the bat and tell you right now, this Daredevil was already my favorite comic book show from last year with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, with Charlie Cox's Daredevil, with all of it, Foggy and everybody, Ben Urich. I loved all of it. This season might be the best, the most action-packed, the most emotional, the best fucking season of a superhero show I've ever seen. Like, if you're not watching Daredevil, what the hell are you doing? Like, that's honestly how I feel right now. If you're not watching Daredevil and you're a super fan of superhero shows or superhero movies in general, what the hell are you doing? The action is so great. Man, I love Daredevil because it doesn't look like a TV show. The way the cinematography is, it looks like a movie. Like, it doesn't look like a TV show. It looks a lot like a movie. And even the action stuff looks a lot more cleaner than fucking Arrow or something. I was telling someone yesterday, that I look at Arrow or, another show on like ABC or something. The fighting doesn't seem as realistic. It doesn't seem as crisp. It always seems like they're just doing karate. Like, they'll tell you they're doing this wild ass kind of martial arts, but it always look like they're doing some shit that I could do. It always look like they're doing some karate shit that I could just fucking do right now. Like, he's barely even fucking moving. Like, it just looks like he's doing fucking karate. That's it. But you can see the fighting style. You can see Matt flipping and doing these different things. And you're just like, I can't do that. And you can see him like dodging and like seeing the guys are coming and doing the whole thing. It's awesome. So I'm gonna go off the bat with that. So I'm gonna review episode 1 till 5, and tomorrow I'll review episodes. Wow. No, you know what? No, episodes 1 till 6. Because then tomorrow I'll review 6 till 13. Because I feel like I should give each episode. I should feel like not each episode, because that's gonna be long as hell. But I feel like I should give at least a chunk. This should take 2 trailers, because this is two videos, because this is a great show. And I really, like I said, if you're not watching it, you're missing out. That's the best superhero show. Now, anyways, I'm gonna start off episode 1. It starts off with Foggy and Matt, actually it starts off with one of those, it's a kind of a cliche. They've done it before, where the hero is like in the shadows hunting down these group of guys. They love doing that in sequels too, where like, cause you know who the hero is, and like have them in the shadows, like hunting down these criminals, beating them up and shit, and sending them to the cops, and then eventually they widescreen up on him in his Daredevil suit. But then, then it goes back to Foggy and Matt, who still have disagreements about him being Daredevil, but it's not as, oh, why are you Daredevil? Now it's more like a, dude, man, can you at least be careful? Now it's more like Foggy's just like, okay, I'm made peace with the fact that you're Daredevil. At least tell me you're going to be at least a little fucking careful, man. Like, that basically what this conversation's about. That and Foggy, being Foggy, which I love Foggy's humor, because personally, a lot of people complain about Foggy in the first season. I love Foggy in this show because he brings so much levity to this show, because if he wasn't there to be super serious all the time, he is the levity. He's like literally the levity, because no one really tells jokes, and when they tell jokes, it's literally really around Foggy. Foggy's sense of humor and lightness is infectious, and it makes everyone else lighten up, and it makes everyone else joke and whatnot. So Foggy being around is the reason why this show isn't fucking too dark. So I love that about Foggy, and he's doing a better job in this season too, doing that. Well, anyways, episode goes on a bit. You can tell that the law firm's having a really hard time, dealing with shit, basically paying the bills, because the thing about being a lawyer is you're supposed to like represent like all kinds of people, but they just want to represent the innocent people, and sometimes the innocent people, and it's kind of a true thing. A lot of the times the innocent people aren't exactly the most richest people, because that's what they're dealing with now. Like, most of the innocent people are broke, and like they can only pay them in not money, so they're having trouble with that. Then in splash page fashion, like there's gangs. Obviously, the gangs trying to pick up the pieces of when spoilers, Kingpin got put in prison and lost all his power. So there's this gang of Irish guys, this Irish gang trying to like debating in their own in their own little fucking clubhouse about how we're gonna take power back. and the next thing you know, they just get lit the fuck up, and you know it's the Punisher, and he just lights every single one of them up, except one guy. Except one guy fell over the counter and he's still alive, but he lights every fucking single one of them up. It is freaking insane. So that is. So now the rest of the episode is pretty much just talking about who the hell is this Punisher guy? Where is this Punisher guy? Like, and then Matt's trying to figure out who this Punisher guy is and whatnot. And he finally in action and like they were saying on another review I saw, this does not hold back on the Punisher. It doesn't do that shit in other shows where it just lingers out like who is that guy? Who is that guy? It doesn't do that shit. Punisher is forefront and center. Oh, you don't really see his face, but he's fighting Daredevil. By the end of this episode, he's fighting Daredevil, and them two are going at it. And Punisher, and they have two different fighting styles, like because Punisher's Marine, he's special forces and whatnot. So he's got his own thing going, but Daredevil's a fucking ninja, so he's got his own thing going. So I mean, they're going toe to toe. Long story short. Fucking awesome. 2 awesome fight scenes later, Punisher shoots Daredevil in the fucking head. And boom, that's the end of episode 1. That's just the end of episode 1, bro. Just the end of episode 1. Now I'm going to just briefly go through the other ones. Episode 2 is Daredevil dealing with the headshot, because it didn't kill him, it just gave him a fucking concussion. Give him a really bad concussion, so bad he couldn't even hear shit for a long time. So then you got that going, then you got the Punisher steal, then you got, the guy the Punisher that didn't kill coming for him later, and that's episode 2. You got the guy that the Punisher did not kill, trying to get help from Nelson and Murdoch. So then you got that going, which seems kind of smart, which seems kind of smart on his half, but like Matt's not really there because he's all fucked up from that headshot, which didn't kill him because of the helmet, but it cracked that fucking helmet. And a lot of you, if you've seen the promotion art. You notice he's got like stitching in his helmet because he gets a new helmet. By the way, gets a new helmet. But the people who hated the first one, he gets a new one. So that one's awesomer. Actually, I didn't have a problem with the first one, but this one looks even more like the comic. So I like the new helmet he ends up getting. Then there's some girl from the DA who shows up, who, from what I heard, which was in Jessica Jones, which is kind of awesome. And she's bitchy and moany, and she's like trying to just take the case and like. I love Foggy in this episode because he just kind of just goes at her and what's the word? He legally, methodically cut her fucking down, and I love that about Foggy because Foggy, like, thing is, Foggy, you'll learn during the course of this season. I'm just gonna give this away. Foggy may be a better lawyer than that, like pure lawyer, like as it turns out, like, cause like. You see so many cases of Foggy just being way better at his job than Matt. I mean, Matt's fighting fucking ninjas and shit like that, and fucking trying to take down a crazy man who's killing a bunch of people. But Foggy is doing a great job on this season. Like, so, and this is just another episode 2 is another example of that. Get another fight scene between Daredevil and the Punisher, a more unique and interesting, like a little bit of longer one. Between them, you get to see the Punisher wreck shit again. Also, you get to see the Punisher take out a fucking pedophile, which is always great. Stop cleaning up our streets. And then this is the episode where he gets the code name the Punisher from like the police, because some of the police actually agree with the shit he's doing, and they're just like, hey, that's punishment. Fuck it, he's the Punisher. Yeah, I like it. So that's where he gets the code name the Punisher in episode 2. And then in the end of this episode is pretty awesome, and it's interesting. Let's put it that way. Interesting. Let's just put it this way. Matt is not in good spirits. Then episode 3 comes around. Matt is tied to a fucking chimney, just like this iconic scene in the comic book The Choice with the Punisher and Daredevil, and they're having this long argument about right and wrong, about should you kill people, should you not kill people, and like this whole up and down thing, and Daredevil's trying to figure out the psychology of the Punisher, like what is wrong with men who do this, and like, and they're not getting anywhere. And at one point, some guy comes up the steps, and Punisher says he's gonna blow his damn head off if Daredevil says anything. And I couldn't tell if he was just fucking around or what, because Punisher doesn't kill innocent people. I think he was just fucking with him. I think. He pulled back the hammer. It's like, he pulled back the hammer. Oh, that was all for the show. I'm like, was it? Or were you literally going to pop him in the fucking head? Hard to tell. But he didn't. The old man walked away, and it was pretty good. Also, there's a little reference to Vietnam, because the old man's a Vietnam veteran, a Marine, and he's just like and like I'm about 90% sure the unit the old man was in was the exact unit that Frank was in. Like, is the original Frank character, because he was originally in Vietnam, but they upgraded it to Iraq and whatnot. He's still special forces. He's still amazing, but they just upgraded it because it has to be a little bit more modern. I couldn't believe some old ass guy from Vietnam's doing all this. So yeah, they did that. So while they're still having this argument and debate, you got things with Karen going on, where Karen's trying to figure out more about Frank Castle. And then you got things with Foggy going on. Like Foggy's trying to, well, not things with Foggy. They're both trying to do the same thing, but they're just going from different perspectives. So you got that going on. And then the kicker. Episode 3 has one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. Maybe even more better than a stairwell fight scene. Because at some point, like while they're arguing and like talking shit to each other, like the Punisher ties a gun to Daredevil's hand and tells him, if to kill me, or I'm gonna kill this criminal that he found. This criminal, and he tells him what this criminal's done, and he tells him this criminal's a scumbag, and he tells him this criminal's a murderer. And Daredevil's having a hard time disagreeing with the fact that this guy should probably die. Like, he's having a hard time disagreeing with him. But he's like, I can't kill him, and you shouldn't kill him either. And he's just trying his best to, reason with this man. And then he starts counting down. But then Daredevil got wise and shot the fucking chain that had him roped up. Got off, but it didn't help because dude still got shot. Beat the shit out of the Punisher. But the Punisher, being a dick, had a whole bunch of being a dick and being a smart ass motherfucker. Because at first I was wondering what the fuck he was doing, because he went on top of this thing and he kept going and he's doing something. I was like, what the fuck is he doing up there? Then, all full circle near the end, he shoots the biker gang's bike. Bikes blow up. The biker gang comes outside looking for who the fuck blew the bike up. He cuts the lights up that he set up. That's why he was up there the whole time. And the biker gang's like, oh, it's Daredevil up there, and they're going into the building, like fucking 20 of them to kill Daredevil. And it's like, oh shit. He's like, yeah, now you're gonna have to kill somebody, because there's no way you can get out of this without killing some people, or at least asking for my help. And I'm gonna kill some people. But Daredevil proceeds to beating the living shit out of all the entire biker gang with a fucking chain and a gun on one hand, but he couldn't use it because the gun ain't had no more fucking bullets. So he's just beating the shit out of people with the gun, and beating the shit out of people with the chain, and it was one of the most badass fight scenes I've ever seen. Honestly, the last 10 minutes of this episode, last 15 minutes of this episode are some of the best TV show I've seen. There's some shit that should have been in a movie. Like, that was awesome. So, episode 3 set the bar really high. Episode 4, Penny and Dimes, was also ridiculously awesome, because you got to see, first of all, the Irish mob didn't take well to, Punisher just murdering everyone they know. Like, murdering, the mob family. So I'm pissed off about that. So they're looking for his ass, They find his ass, actually. I didn't think they were going to find him, but they find his ass. I mean, he kills a lot of them, but there's too many of them. They capture him. You got Daredevil trying to fucking find him and help him out. Punisher's getting tortured, but he is such a badass about it. I mean, he is such a badass. I thought the casting of John Bernthal was good at first, but he is such a badass about it. Like, I mean, this is kind of motherfucker that you fucking... Like, they put a drill in his foot and he spit in the guy's face and said, fuck you. Like, that's the kind of dude we're talking about here, man. Drilling his kneecap. Fuck you. Drill me again, bitch. Like, and that's the kind of guy we're talking about here. But actually, that's the kind of guy we're talking about here. Eventually Daredevil shows up. Well, Punisher gets out of it on his own. Well, he sort of gets out of it on his own. Starts blasting, motherfucker. Shot that one dude point blank in the face and just blew his fucking face off. Like, oh, man. He is so brutal. And that's the thing. Prepare for that. The Punisher, you are about to see, it's Warzone Punisher. He is brutal in this show. Punisher is brutal. I'm like the fucking spoil. I've seen him kill a guy with a broken coffee pot. Just stab the fuck out of a guy with a broken coffee pot in the gut. Like, shank the shit out of a guy. Like, he will kill you with anything. I mean, you really don't see it until episode 9, which that shit was crazy. I'll get to that tomorrow, but that shit was crazy too. But yeah, him and Daredevil get out. Punisher's kind of like fucked up, just sitting there because he's like, alright, well, I ain't going anywhere. I'm fucking bleeding out. I can't really go anywhere at this moment. And Daredevil and Punisher a little bit more chipper, actually. And I actually liked it that they're a little bit more chipper because
Punisher was like, hey Red, how's wrong about you? What? You're not a bitch. Don't get all soft on me, Frank. I love that. I love that little banter back and forth. Don't get all soft on me, Frank. And then like Frank, and then he goes into this like tear jerking. Actually, this is acting right here. Tear jerking as he talks about how his family was murdered, but it was so tear jerking not because I've heard this Punisher story a million times. I've heard the story about his family being killed a million times. I'm sure if you're watching this, you have too. But the setup for it, when he talks about coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, and just being so nervous to see his family, and being so nervous to see his little daughter, and when he sees his little daughter, everyone's crying, and it's so emotional, and it's all good, and it's this and that, and he's just feeling so happy, and like, it's so emotional. And then just to turn and go, the last time I saw my daughter, there was hamburger meat where her face used to be. That is just fucking so hard. Like, oh man. Like, I think if I fucking lost my family in front of me, I can understand where he's coming from. Like, that is just, oh man. Even Daredevil's just like, damn, man. I mean, shit. Like, even Daredevil can't really say shit. He's just like, damn. So, like, after that, it's a little bit more, after that and all that little stuff, there's a little bit more stuff for Karen, because, you know, throughout the episodes, Karen and Daredevil, Matt been flirting, but they were making out in this one. They started making out in this episode, and like, in the rain, too. They started making out in the rain, and it was all nice and moist. And eventually they come to the conclusion that they're going to defend Frank Castle because there's some weird shit going on that no one knows about. So like, okay, we're going to defend him because we're not sure what the fuck's happening. Get to the end, Matt's finished making out with Karen, and they're just like, okay, we're going to pretend like that shit didn't happen. Well, they didn't say that, but that's kind of look they had. Next thing you know, Karen, walks to his room. Didn't notice her at first. The moment he noticed her, he fucking yanked the goddamn knife on the counter. I took a knife out the counter. Elektra. Hello, Matthew. You probably seen it in the trailer. That was so funny because immediately my first thought was, how fucking scary is she that the first thought you have when you see her is to pull a knife out? Like, damn. Then episode 5 is pretty awesome because you get to see more about Elektra. You get to see more about her, their history together and the backstory. Turns out she's one crazy, crazy bitch. Like, psycho. Like, I mean, murderous. Like, she kidnapped the guy that killed his parents, and he was like getting aroused to him beating the shit out of this guy near to death. She wanted him to kill him. Like, I mean, there's an awesome sex scene, by the way, with them two in a boxing ring after they get done beating the shit out of each other. Like, that's the kind of, like, that's the definition of a fucking weird relationship. Oh, we beat the shit out of each other. Let's fuck. Well, that's interesting. But yeah, you see how bad she is for him. And then while they're doing that, there's real stuff going on with Matt trying to, like, investigate her. And, like, he's acting all weird and shit because she's back in his life. And she says she needs help, she needs a lawyer. And he's like, there's a lot of lawyers. He's really trying to get her the fuck out of his house. Like, you could tell, you never really seen him this nervous, you never really seen him this unhinged, you never really seen Matt, like, please, get the fuck out of my life. Please, leave. Like, you really think she did something, like, and you see she did kind of fucking fuck him up as a kid. Nearly get him kicked out of college, actually, as it turns out. But, like, yeah, man, that episode was interesting because you get to see a little bit more of Elektra and, you know, Matt and whatnot, and see their whole relationship and how things are going. Then episode 6 was interesting as well, but I think if there was any like point where it was a little bit of a downer, episode 6 might have been it. No, it wasn't really a downer, but it was just more stuff about, you know. Well, episode 6 they went and found this like, it was a little tag team match going on with Daredevil and Elektra. That was kind of cool. You got to see more of Foggy. And you got to see more of Foggy doing other things. Hell, I almost forgot that Claire Temple shows up in episode 4. So you can see Claire again. No, in episode 3, my bad. You get to see Claire again. So that was cool when you see Claire in episode 3. So it was awesome. And she pops up again. She's in this season a lot. So, and you didn't get to see her to Night Nurse, but I'll come back to that. But yeah, episode 6 was interesting with you know, them trying to set up a whole legal thing. Damn it, I always forget I always forget her name, but gosh, damn it. But yeah, she's working at the Bulletin now and not in replace of fucking Ben, but like just kind of Ben Urich, just kind of doing it because she thinks it's the right thing to do, is investigate a little bit farther. So that's more interest. So that's interesting that she's actually working at the Bulletin. And the guy who is the head guy working there is also helping her out because he feels like helping her out in a way is like helping out Ben because Ben thought about her and highly, so he thinks about her highly. So you got that going on. But there's a lot of more Elektra and Daredevil tag teaming and trying to do ninja their way around shit and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool episode though. So episode 6 is pretty good too. Now I will, like I said, I'll review the rest of it tomorrow. So far, like this show is, if I had to give this show a grade, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Daredevil season 2 is fantastic. The Punisher, Elektra are complete standouts, and I can't wait to tell you guys about the rest. Thank you. Subscribe, subscribe, anything. Tell me what your favorite episode about Daredevil season 2 is. Tell me what your favorite character in Daredevil season 2 is, and do you think that this is the season 2 is better than season 1? Thank you. Subscribe. Thanks.